Hello and welcome back. This is David from the Personal Finance Squad. We just finished up with the grocery bill. Now we're going to go into FSA, the Flexible Spending Account. This was a Chapter 6 item, and we're going to provide a simulation for you to go figure out how you would use this. So a given variable is that you're going to assume that your employer does offer an FSA because all employers do not. So you can see an example grid below that this was taken from the book, and we put some numbers in here, and we said that all of this would add up to $1,078, or approximately $90 a month. So you can see here that here's some common things. There's co-pays, there's deductibles. So just check. Just for understanding, a copay is money that you have to pay up front every time you're at the doctor. So if you go for an appointment for something, they may say the copay is $20, and that's just what it costs. That's just one of those things. Now a deductible has an amount, say here, of $200, and that $200 means that you have to pay everything. Check that. And that deductible means everything that is due, you have to pay the first $200 of everything. Then after that, there'll be a split coverage. So in a loose interpretation, you paid the first $200 of everything. After that, if you went to the doctor and it was $100, now you may have a copay. So let's just say it was $120. And then the plan might say they cover 80% and you pick up 20%. So you would be owing 20% on $120, right? Does that make sense? So $24. Now in this case, you're not going to have to worry about a deductible, but that's what a deductible means. And that's kind of like auto insurance. If you get into an accident and it's your fault and you have a collision coverage of say $500, you're going to owe that $500 right up front before any work gets done out of the car. So if that bill was $10,000, it would really be $9,500 to the insurance company and $500 to you. So we see some other things on here like prescriptions and contacts. So the best thing that you want to do is, again, ask an adult. Maybe they can help you out with some of the types of medical things that they deal with, and you yourself might have asthma or allergies or you need glasses. So you'll understand some of these already. And so come up with the best thing you can think of. Make it very simple to understand and try not to go over, more than this 1,078 here. But run the exercise and see if you can run some general things in there so you get an understanding. Then what you need to figure out is that whatever number you come up with here, that again is pre-tax income, and that's what we like because that's more money in your pocket. What happens though is you need to figure out what your paycheck's going to be. So first you have to start with the paycheck that you were provided in the beginning of all these budget exercises. From there, then you need to look at the tax. So some pieces of information in here is that Medicare and Social Security are automatic. That means 7.65% is coming out of your check no matter what, so you already know that. But remember, the first thing you need to know is that pre-tax money comes out first. So you might have medical, 401k, and now an FSA that you need to take off the top of the gross pay first. So for example, we see $31.77 in this example below. Let's go up here a little bit. And then $100 was taken off for 401k, so that was pre-tax. And then you put the tax on it. So remember that. So again, in your case, you had 401k, you had medical, and you'll have an FSA. Now to figure out the tax rate though, after you take out the pre-tax income, besides the 7.65 that we talked about above, you're going to need to know how to figure that out. And it's pretty simple math. So we're going to push this down. And what you need to do is divide. So $3,077 is what the, in this case example says, is the taxable income. So then what you need to do is come down here and go look at your federal and take 239.23 and have that divided by 3,077. I really need that. And that would be your percentage. So up here we looked and we did a little math for you. In this case, it would be 7.77% for federal. And then the same thing needs to be done for state or city tax if it applies. So again, if you don't know this, ask an adult who lives in your area. Like in the city of Detroit, for example, they have a separate tax of 1%, I believe. And the state tax, I think, in Michigan is 6%. Check that, check that. Check that. And the tax in Michigan, I believe, is 4%. So you can see there's a few calculations, but again, go and find out, like again, what it is in your area and figure that out so you will now know what your new take-home income is. And then you're also going to have an FSA bank. So we look up here and say, hey, when this average was $1,078, that means it was about $90 a month. Or in your case, if you're getting paid bi-weekly, that's going to be $180 a month. And on the bonus check months, they'll be $270, right? And that's only 2 months a year. Okay, so that's going to cover it for now. And then, again, use the budget worksheet. And you have an option to say, do I want to show this in the budget? And what that means is, if you know that you have all these medical coverages for, let's say, $1,000, and then when they happen, what you do is you just charge it to the FSA. So the FSA bank's going to have $1,000 in it. So you don't need to show income or the medical expense in the budget worksheet because they just wash each other out. You're handling it here and here. So you could have a debit card and go to the office and say, I have a deductible and a copay and it's charging me $120. Well, that 120 just comes off over here, and that's where you maintain it. So it's like a separate bank account. So again, when you read the book, you'll see the FSA in the check. And again, so when you see the book, you've seen FSA and DCAP, and they're showing that money that's in a tank, which is really income to you. And then you also see the daycare listed. So what we're saying even for like DCAP is don't show the daycare if it's covered by the DCAP account. And you'll look at a video and we'll be able to show you that as well. Okay, so that's going to do it for here. Again, try to keep your costs within $1,000 just to give you a gauge, but play with it any way you want. Make sure your instructor's involved in this and you guys can come up with exactly how you want to do it. We just want you to understand the exercise again of the simulation of what it takes to pay for typical medical costs. Okay, so thanks for joining, and we will see you in exercise 9, which is the DCAP. Thanks for joining.